Hello, and welcome to the Sunday meditation at the Light Institute of Galisteo and the Sanctuary of Light. I love that word sanctuary. I feel that everyone needs to have a sense of sanctuary. And of course, our meditations are all about the inner sanctuary, how we are our own sanctuary, and how powerful that is when we can experience that and live that in our lives. So for those of you who have joined us for the first time, we divide our meditation into 3 parts. The first part, so fabulous, is to ask your higher self, which is the intuitive essence of your soul, your own inner voice, your own wisdom, to take form for you. Whatever form it takes, we ask the higher self to touch our bodies so that we can align our energy. All of the chatter about who we are disappears, and we simply sit in meditation as our true higher selves. And as we do that, then I'll make a little sound so that you can push the button on your machine, and then you can meditate for as long as you want in that first part. In the second part of the meditation, we practice the art of radiance. Because everything is made of light, and the more light that we draw to us and through us, the more powerful it makes the essence and the grace of our lives. And so the way we do it is that we imagine that we're reaching up into the cosmos, and we pull down a beautiful beam of pure white light down through the top of your head, down into your stomach, your solar plexus. This is the center of the emotional body. And from there we radiate that light out across the planet and back up into the sky. And we just keep drawing it down and extending it out. And that will take you into a very profound meditation if you just keep practicing that. Then a little Om. The third part of our meditation, we focus on a situation or something that we want to extend our energy to, because it's very important to realize that we do have a destiny and a purpose in our lives, and it's not what we do. It's how we link up with the inner worlds and the outer worlds. This week, what we're going to work on, or what we're going to focus on, is that sense of choice. Because right now, a lot of people around the planet feel that because of war, because of governments, because of money, because of relationships, that they don't have the power of choice. So we're going to ask our higher selves to give us a tool that will help us to feel that we do have choice, that we are guiding our own lives, and it's not all coming from how we have to react to the outside world. And then we will extend a tool out to all of humanity so that we can sort of realign that we're not all here as victims being buffeted by the winds of politics, of monies, of governments, of whatever, or of nature, but that we can participate, again, through the power of our inner knowing, our higher selves. So we'll begin our meditation by breath, because when you exhale very slowly, it slows down the brain vibration that expands the consciousness, and that's how you get into a meditative state. So close your eyes. Breathe deeply in through your nose. And now exhale very slowly. Feel you puckering your lips and exhaling through your mouth. Once again, breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Keeping your eyes closed, ask your higher self, the intuitive essence of your soul, your own inner voice, to take a form for you. It could be a being, or a light, a tree, an animal, an equation. Just take a deep breath and ask your higher self to take a form that serves you at this moment. Take the first one that pops into your consciousness. Ask your higher self to touch your body where you hold your divine essence at this moment. Wherever you sense a touch on your body, just begin to focus there and breathe in and out, creating an opening there in that point so that there's an accessing of your, again, divine essence through the touch of your own higher self. And now draw your higher self in through that point and feel that it resonates, its energy fills you, and sit in meditation. Om. Imagine that you could reach up into the cosmos and pull down a beautiful beam of white light down through the top of your head, down into your solar plexus, and from there laser that white light across the planet, back out into the sky and into the cosmos. And breathing and draw it down through you, magnetizing light in through you and extend it out, laser it out from you, across the planet, back into the cosmos. And just continue to do that with your breath. Ask your higher self to give you a tool which will help you to access a sense of choosing in your life, that you are the one who selects how you respond or what you choose in your life. It could be a symbol or an object or a color. This tool. See what your higher self gives to you to support that power of choice at this moment. Whatever comes into your consciousness, draw that tool into your body and notice where it comes in. Feel the power of its energy in you, a tool that will help you to realize that you can choose. And then command the trillions of cells of your body, each one to carry that tool. Feel that. Trillions of cells carrying a tool that supports you choosing in your life. And now imagine that you could draw all of humanity, 7 something billion people on this planet, into your mind's eye and ask humanity what tool they need from you to feel that they too can access the power of choice. Again, it could be a symbol or an object or a color that they ask for from you to support them in finding the way to choose and to know that they can in their lives. And once you have a sense of that tool, again, the symbol, object, or color that they ask for from you, reach up into the cosmos and draw exactly that tool down through the top of your head, down into your stomach, your solar plexus, and from there laser that tool out to all of humanity. And feel as if each and all are receiving that vibration that will support them, and knowing that they have come to choose to support, to heal, to evolve. Just keep drawing it down and lasering it out to all humanity. A little more. Feel the shift of energy. Good. Oh. Take a deep breath into your body and open your eyes. Thank you. Meditation is life. Life is meditation. It's one of the most wonderful and powerful choices that we can make. We have a second part to our meditation here. It's called knowings. And each week, people from around the world will send questions that they would like for us to look upon, to uplift ourselves and to illuminate what needs to be illuminated. So Alison will tell us the questions that have come this week.
The first question is from Miami Beach, Florida, in the U.S.A. Dear Chris Griscom, I am 26 and I need your help. I am gay, highly educated, and married to someone who constantly criticizes me in small ways to demean me and treats me like I am stupid, constantly gaslighting me. He lives in my home and uses my money but acts very superior and constantly judges me as a loser. I have become withdrawn and depressed, losing my usual active joy for life with very little, if any, self-esteem still intact. I am throwing a Hail Mary to you and hoping you will have an answer from me of how to get out of this horrible situation. An important point you should know is that I am very wealthy and cannot divorce without losing a great deal of my inheritance. With tremendous gratitude, I appreciate your ongoing knowings more than I can express.
Dear one, I'm so glad that you have brought this forward because you are not alone in this conversation. Around the world, people are questioning who they are and who they are in relationship and how do they change it. The first point is that you really can't change him, but you can consider within your heart and again within the illumination of your consciousness, knowing that you chose this man, you drew him to you through some kind of karma. At the Light Institute, we would say, come over here and look at incarnations that you've shared with him, because that will help you to release him, because on some level or every level, that is what needs to occur right now. Someone who finds the need to belittle another person is suffering from an old pattern, a Judeo-Christic pattern. Perhaps it's true of all humanity. We call it self-righteousness. And what it means is that in order to feel powerful or safe, they have to belittle everyone else so that they can be king of the mountain, so they can be on top. It's very likely that your partner, that your husband, has this. Maybe he was belittled as a child, or because of your money, or who knows. But for one reason or another, which may have nothing to do with you, is certainly this pattern of bringing other people down started a long time ago. He might have learned it psychogenetically from his own family, from his own history. It doesn't give him the right to do that with you, but it can open your compassion. But with that compassion, what I want to say is you probably can't shift that in him. That's a pattern that he would engage in with anyone. And so it's not necessarily about you, but what is about you is the choice to say, why am I staying here? There are so many reasons that people stay in marriages when that it doesn't serve them. And my higher self always says that our sexual partners and our blood relatives are the ones that can, quote, stick it to us, that can hurt us the most, because we have so much karma with them. And that is why it's very important to realize that you must focus your attention on coming back to who you are. however long you've been married to this person or with this person, has intertwined you. And so sometimes we feel that we wouldn't find someone else. You're 26. You will find love. I often perform marriages, and one of the things that I always say is that I always want to speak at a marriage ceremony to people who are divorced. And what my higher self says to them is that for those of you who are divorced, you must know that each time you love, you will love better and be loved better. So don't be afraid that you have to stay in this relationship because it might be the only one or the one you deserve or any of those things that go on subconscious levels and emotional levels. But to realize that you must now, because you were not placed here, you did not choose to be embodied to suffer the slings and arrows of someone else, but to heal that availability within yourself. And so it's very important that you begin to look at the things that bring you joy, that allow you to be yourself. There's two aspects. We could talk about this for so long, but there are two aspects that I would like to bring up. One is, why don't we get divorced? Well, you've mentioned one, that you could lose your inheritance. This is not important. You are the source of your inheritance. You may have been born to receive a certain amount. Now you will be the source of your abundance. And how much money you have has nothing to do with how happy you are or what your sense of purpose or sense of self is in the world. So don't let that you might lose a big portion of your inheritance stop you. Sometimes I've seen it be successful to simply say, I'm going to offer you this amount because I want you to be abundant, I want you to feel safe, and so I will give you this. And very often they take that deal. Absolutely. And so the second part of that, in letting go of what will happen if you have to shift some sense of yourself in terms of your abundance, is that we don't really release another person. We don't divorce them in our hearts or our bodies in a negative way. And so to end this relationship, you want to end it in an illuminated way. And one of the things that I would suggest is this exercise in consciousness, whereby you simply hold him in your mind's eye and ask him what frequency of light, what color he needs from you to be released now, to go his own way, to grow his own way, to feel safe and happy himself, to be loved himself, and to release you. And so we're going to do that little exercise because everyone has somebody that they need to shift the way that they relate to. So let's do that now. Close your eyes. Bring him into your mind's eye, and the rest of us will bring somebody. Let your higher self show you someone that you need to be balanced with. Bring him into your mind's eye and ask him what color he needs to be released from this relationship, to be free to grow on, to be peaceful with you and you with him, to be friends because you have each chosen each other, and now it's time to go on. Take the first color that comes into your consciousness that you perceive. He has to choose the color. Whatever color that is, reach up into the cosmos as we were doing before and pull exactly that color down from the top of your head, down into your solar plexus, and laser it out to him. Notice where he takes it in. He will not resist it because he's choosing it. And color is a language, it's a cosmic language. It says everything. So just continue to draw it down and extend it to him. Allow him to fill with it until it just disappears. What color do you need to be released from this karma? And peace and illumination. And open your eyes. It's really amazing what happens when we do this. You can do this even when you're in the same space as him, but you do it inside your own consciousness. And people respond to light because it is a language that is the language of the soul. And know that things will be better. But you must choose that you have a purpose here. And so you cannot give up yourself. You cannot fall into depression or not be yourself. I recommend doing a lot of going into nature and finding new things that please you and settling with him now and knowing that you can each go on and still acknowledge with honor each other. And if he cannot honor you, it's not about you. You honor you. Great love. I know it'll be perfect. Trust yourself. Trust the power to be you. And come again to that point with your higher self. Alison?
The second question is from Dusseldorf, Germany.
Dusseldorf.
Dear Chris, my mother has changed as a result of listening to various online conspiracy information about religion, politics, healthcare, and even education. I think she has become what is called radicalized, at the very least, radically changed. She used to be so loving and open-minded. Now she seems so violent, afraid, and restricted in her beliefs. Will you please explain radicalization and why it happens? I miss my mother, Chris. Please help me understand.
In one way, understanding is the booby prize because there are so many reasons for radicalization. But the basic underlying current there is that exactly what's happening on the planet. It's easy to look onto the internet and find all the reasons why you are not safe. And so when we don't feel safe, the emotional body begins to feed on that. And so it begins to look what somebody else is doing. Remember that we were working on that at the beginning of our meditation here, that aspect of choice. And so what happens is that people feel that the outside world is dangerous. And so they begin to shrink in their minds and in their emotions and in their bodies to a place where if they just hold on to something, they become safe. And this is why they get very, very rigid with that radicalization. And the radicalization is about how the world is unsafe and how basically a paranoid energy that everything is trying to get you, to take away your freedom, to take away your power, to imprison you in some way. And so what you want to do is to counteract that. I'm sure you've already realized that telling her that it's not so, she's not going to listen to you. So what you want to do is to begin to, like we just did, send color to her. What color do you need from me to feel safe and to be your true self? And then extend that to her. You can do that when you go to bed at night. I don't know if you sleep in the same home with her or not, but that's something that's very important. And the other things are to begin to show her things, perhaps on the internet, where people are doing fantastic and brave things in response to the world. And that they're heroes or they're templates or that groups of people are coming together and changing things with their consciousness, with their love. One of the things that happens in war, it's perhaps one of the only things that happens in war, is that people begin to take care of each other. People begin to even give their lives for each other. They do extraordinary things. It brings up that kind of energy, the best, the worst and the best in humanity. And so if you look on the internet and find stories and say, Mom, did you hear about this? Look what these guys are doing. Look what this person did. And begin to just simply rebalance. So you're not taking away from her or arguing with her about what is true, but you begin to show her something else that maybe will stimulate a point of reference inside her that can say, oh, it could be all right. Or there are good people in this world. Another thing that I would recommend, I don't know, again, whether you live with her or how old she is, but I know for myself, having been in Dusseldorf and other places in Germany, that Germany has beautiful nature. And so taking her for a drive, let's go for a drive. Give her something that distracts her from that conversation, that points to nature. If she could take a walk in nature with you, things that uplift her will help her to begin to not be squeezing and falling into that negativity. This is what people who want to radicalize others do. They make them afraid. They play on their fear. And then they say the only way to survive, and to survive? No, we're not here to survive. We're here to offer the wisdom of our soul. We're here to bring about the evolution of human consciousness and human experience. And so this may be part of your destiny. But remember that if she can't change, it's not about you. But you may have some karma with her that says it's my turn to help her. So use these exercises in consciousness to influence the focal points that she has, to show her on the internet, tell her stories in the news, good stories, things that remind us that humans are good and that we are all good and that she can be safe. And again, nature is a great place for that. Whether you walk with her or you just drive her around. She needs to get out, because if she just stays at home and gets fed with this, then the radicalization will consume her. So all you need to do is to give her a balance and not say anything about that, but bring something new and good to her and be a part of that in her life. And I'm sure that it will be better. Great love. Alison?
The last question is from Nassau in the Bahamas.
Uh-huh.
Dear Miss Griscom, will you please talk about the power of crystals? I am from a very conservative background and community where crystals have somewhat of a reputation as being pretty and decorative only, lovely but not consequential to life energy. To the contrary, I think these wonderful gems of nature are powerful energy sources that make me feel great, quite like our beautiful sea. I very much would like to hear what you have to say about them and how I might be able to use them better energetically and spiritually. By the way, I have read your book, Oceanborn, and we love you here in the Bahamas.
Talking about crystals, one of the things that I love and why I chose the Bahamas to give birth in the sea was that you have that crystalline water. It even has a high frequency, a very high electromagnetic energy in it. And when you look at the shallow waters in the Bahamas, which are purely crystallized, it's amazing to see the patterns that are flowing in the water. So I think you are so fortunate to be a Bahamian. And first I would say to you, don't worry about if other people can't recognize that they have a more purpose than just their beauty. But I would recommend that you place them around your house so that people without knowing it might come into your house and feel like, I always feel happy in your home. This is what I do at my house. I even put it around in my garden. Crystals, are created within the earth millions and millions of years ago by the pressure and by the heat. And there are many kinds of crystal and many kinds of gems. I have seen beautiful gems in the Bahamas. And all of them do have energy. Imagine holding the energy of the earth, the energy of these kind of forces that are millions of years old. Of course they would have some influence on our energy systems. And we can align to them and we can use them to align ourselves in ways that open our spirituality or open the healing of our body or whatever that is. And there's a lot of conversation that you can look into about this crystal is good for that or so forth and so on. The most important thing is for you to imbue in any crystals you have something specific. Because yes, they have energy. If you put them around, they're going to influence your energy. This is true. But what we want to do is to use the power of our consciousness to seed into the crystals, to direct their their energy source in such a way that they support our life. Maybe it's to make you more healthy. Maybe it's to deepen your meditations. Maybe it's to bring you financial abundance. It doesn't matter what your need is. Crystals have that magnetism. And one of the things that we know about manifestation is that it's all about magnetism. So your crystals will create that for you. I would recommend that wherever you get a crystal, or if you have some, take them into your Bahamian Sea or place them in salt water to neutralize them, to clear off any negativity or any kind of thought forms that have been around wherever you bought them or wherever somebody gave them to you. And then hold them or place your hands on them and directly focus. Crystals, I see that you will offer, or you will expand consciousness, or you will offer healing, or you will, whatever it is that you need in your life. And you may have different crystals that do different things. I would not have too many of them in your sleeping room, because they're so powerful that they will flicker back and forth with your consciousness. But indeed, crystals have the power to give us all the gifts that we want, and they are beautiful. So if people think, well, they're just for beauty, yes, they are. And beauty makes us feel safe and makes us feel peaceful, because all of humanity needs beauty. And so I love that you've brought this forward, because any kind of crystal or any kind of gem, again, because it comes from the earth. Well, except some of them, like the emeralds, they actually come from the cosmos. But they will all lend energy to you, or amplify the energy that you need at any moment. So it's very important in our lives to realize that the earth is giving us gifts at all times, and crystals are one of the most powerful gifts. That's why they're used in machines today and in all kinds of ways. Imagine if they create the silica crystal in a computer, what does it do when you're holding that crystal for you? Your computer, your life force energy. So I join you in loving the beauty, but also the power of the energetic of crystals. And anytime it quickens your frequency or moves you and opens you, you are accessing your true spiritual essence. So it's not something that's hard. It's something that's available and right there in your life, and can be for everyone else. Great love, Bahamas. I love you as well.